Hi, it's Lisa here from Business and Heals, and I'm online with Amanda Campbell from Ben Like a Bamboo, who's actually one of our wonderful ambassadors. So we're so delighted to have you here, Amanda. How are you going?
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for that lovely intro. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight and everybody out there.
So just checking, everyone, if you can jump on and let us know that you can hear. Just hit the like button so that we know that you're all on and everything's okay. You never quite know with Facebook Live, do you? It's always an interesting thing. Are we on? Are we not on? So Amanda's here tonight to talk to us about the key nutritional tips for feeling better. You know, we've all been just talking about, having colds and flus, and I'm sure everybody's struggling with it. And then you add what we do with business on top of that. So you're going to give us some key tips about reducing stress and why nutrition is really linked to resilience. So tell us why nutrition is so important, not only to your recovery, but anyone wanting to maintain good health.
It's a really good question. If I was to draw a pie, nutrition would be the largest piece of the pie. Allowing normal biochemical processes to occur for us to be sitting here talking right now, to get up and go for a walk, let alone if you're in repair or you're needing more energy and resilience to push through any setback that you're going through in life. You really need to see nutrition as key. And I didn't really understand until, I had no choice but to succeed. I used to get away with eating reasonably good food, but what I know now is really stepping up nutrient-dense food is the way to go. But I had no choice because, when I was 24, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which led to a paralysis in 2009. And nutrition was so key in helping me literally walk again. So I was lucky in that I had that comparison to really understand what food can do. And not only did my MS symptoms start to disappear when I really started to ramp up eating nutrient-dense food, bladder and bowel issues, fatigue issues, cognitive changes, anxiety, even, when I started to eat better, literally those symptoms started to drop away, which was alone life-changing. Also, the way you eat and the way that you eat is so related to your mind. So when you eat better, you're going to feel better. And when you feel better, you're more inclined to make better choices and you're more inclined to value yourself. And, this is the very key aspect that I work with most of my clients in clinic. Really understanding our value is so important. And when you do understand your value and what you have to offer to the world, life becomes much better. You've got to eat better to feel better. And when you're feeling better and you're making better choices and you're valuing yourself, you're more inclined to design a life that inspires you. And, we don't realize, but that's actually our job. It's your job to design a life that inspires you. And you'll only do that when you actually wake up and you're like, I feel good today. Those days where you're had a really good sleep and you're more inclined to make changes, push through, resilience. And, it's really key. So when you eat better and you're feeling better, you're more inclined to become more connected. And that's where the magic lives. So all of my research is very much on rapid recovery because I was very lucky. I recovered from paralysis and I walked and ran again when they thought I might never walk again. And it was really important for me to really understand these key factors.
Yeah, it sounds almost like a miracle to go from being paralyzed to actually
running. It was. Yeah, I was faced with never walking again. And I was very lucky with the help of kinesiologists and physiotherapists. But later on, I was already walking again and I came home, but I still had to lie down half the day. I still had multiple MS symptoms and I lost my spark. And it was nutrition that really took it to the next level.
Right. So share with us some of your nutritional tips.
I like to keep it really simple. I learned some really valuable lessons in what I went through and really focus on what to up more than what to eliminate because obviously it's more fun. And you're more inclined to eliminate the foods that aren't so good for you if you just really ramp up the ones that are. So, there's a lot of common denominators out there and there's a lot of scientifically studied research with evidence that shows, this food's good for you, this food's good. And there's also a lot of conflicting information out there. But, in a nutshell, there is, and it's really confusing, and that's what we're trying to do next with Nourish. We're transforming this into an educational space and an online programs coming soon and a cookbook, but really with some data of common denominators out there of what, do's and don'ts. So green leafy vegetables are really good for you. They're rich in, vitamins A, B, C, and K, and calcium, folate. And it's really good for the brain and anti-inflammatory properties and skin elasticity. So green leafy vegetables, we all know that. That's a no-brainer. So, think bok choy, kale, spinach. Eating the colours of the rainbow. So hence the logo of Nourish. It was the colours of the rainbow. So but think of plums and berries, beetroot, foods that are deeply coloured all the way through, not just the skin.
I don't like beetroot.
No? Oh,
no,
really?
No.
Fair enough.
I can't handle it, but I'll do the other stuff.
What about berries or grapes?
Oh, yeah, berries are fine. Brussels sprouts and beetroot.
No, that's fine. You've got to, and that's the other thing. That's a really good point you raised, Lisa, because you really do have to have a love for your food. It needs to be a nourishing process. So if you can make that happen, that's really going to help. So if you don't like beetroot, that's fine. So deeply coloured foods have antimicrobial benefits. They're great for the immune system, reproductive organs, vascular health, and sulfur-rich foods. So broccoli, onion, garlic, cauliflower, mushrooms, asparagus. And the reason sulfur-rich foods are good for you is I learned that from Dr. Terry Walls, who's a neurologist with MS. And her research is all about the mitochondria of the cells. She's got a wonderful TEDx talk, which is on my website, Ben Like Bamboo, under resources, but you can obviously Google that as well. So sulfur-rich foods detox the cells. And we can have some, with, environmental conditions and the world we live in now, sometimes we just need to make sure we're cleaning things out. So, yeah, sulfur-rich foods are good, but not everybody can tolerate sulfur. So, and iodine-rich foods. So, seaweed is really good for you. Wow. Yeah. There's something in that. And there's also a lot of research if you're not a vegetarian, fish is really good for you. There's particularly with MS, I do know that there's science behind eating fish a couple of days a week is linked to less lesions in the brain.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So any fish in particular?
Deep sea water fish is best. So there's salmon but, sustainably caught fish. Barramundi is good. Don't go for the really big snapper, more the salmon and barramundi. I've found some really great fish at Aldi, believe it or not. It is frozen, but it's sustainably caught. Yeah, okay, great. Which is really important. So they're my tips, but really focus on what to increase rather than just what to eliminate. And eliminate, obviously, processed foods, eating too much sugar. I myself eliminate gluten, dairy, and wheat because I just do better. And if you don't know, go and seek a professional, a nutritionist or a naturopath can easily put you through some really, can give you some fantastic tests that can really let you know what you're allergic to and what you're not. But do what's right for you because we're all different. So I can even say what I'm saying now, but as you may not do well with sulfur-rich foods. So don't do that because you don't want to create stress and inflammation in your body. Okay. Yeah. But generally speaking, we eat better stuff that's closer to the earth, things that are closer to being grown. Real whole foods, and in its most natural form as possible. I mean, that is the big snapshot message here, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Very cool. All right. Yeah. And so how is nutrition then linked to mental health? Apart from you feeling better, but nutrition is linked to your brain. It's linked to how well your body's going to repair. Believe it or not, your nutrition is linked to your thoughts and your emotions. You wouldn't think so, but what you eat is directly related to the neurotransmitters and neuropeptides that will fire or not fire in your brain. Serotonin, as we know, is very much formed in the gut. So it's very important to eat better. And also nutrition is linked to the decisions that you'll make, as we touched on before, whether you will value yourself, and what changes that you may or may not make in your life. And, you know, that's what life is all about, is bending like bamboo and adjusting and, you know, being able to navigate your way through everyday processes. And change comes from inspiration. So you need to feel good in order to get to where you need to go, let alone a setback in life, you know. Nutrition is also linked to stress, which is, you know, your mind and your mental health is going to be very linked to stress resistance and your resilience. And a huge one, which Dr. Libby Weaver talks about, really, she really educates us well on energy levels. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Dr. Libby Weaver, but she's a biochemist, nutritionist and naturopath. She's got a great TEDx talk as well. Check her out. She's got a bunch of wonderful books, but I've learned a lot from her. But yeah, nutrition is absolutely linked to our energy levels and your motivation and how happy you are. Really important.
So what, you know, if I felt like I was run down and lacking in energy and stuff, what would you suggest I do to kind of get more oomph?
Just go slow. Like, you know, add one better meal in a week. Just one. Add one, you know, really on Sundays I like to prepare. So I'll go to the markets or go to the places that I like to get my food from. And you'd be surprised how little effort can lead to such a change in your week and what you'll eat with just a small preparation on a Sunday. And try different things. So, you know, eliminate a food you're not sure about for a month and then put it back in and see how you feel physically and mentally. But I know for me that when I eliminate dairy, wheat and gluten, I feel so much better. I know I really stick to plant-based foods now. I've tried so many different ways of eating and all the different scientific research with MS and autoimmune disease. But I know what works well for me, and that's just having a lot of vegetables, good fat and ethically sourced protein, whatever that's going to be.
Yeah, okay. That's amazing. And so the whole point about ethically sourcing, right, there's still a lot of confusion around that as well.
Yeah.
So if I was out there thinking about that, where would you suggest I go and how do I look for that?
Yeah, really good question. Just really get interested and passionate about where your food is coming from. So you might go to your local butcher rather than the supermarket if you're going to be purchasing your meats, and ask the butchers where how their animals are treated. Are they walking around eating grass and pasture rather than, you know, hormones or grains or what have you? And yeah, they should really know the answers to that question. And, you know, sustainably caught fish. It's just all about getting food in its most nutrient dense form as possible, and obviously what the animals are eating, if you are going to be eating, you know, animals or fish, but also the quality of the soil for plant-based food. There's some great markets everywhere. Even in Richmond we have you know, a local market. There's some great delivery businesses like Green Line Organics that deliver food, and Empire Organics as well. They can deliver a box of mixed fruit and veg, and then you don't even have to go shopping, but you're getting seasonal produce because that's what they'll just inevitably put in the box for you. And that's going to motivate you to try and cook different recipes. That's another thing you can do. Cook something new once a week that you've never cooked before. Cooking a new fruit or vegetable.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you run out, I mean, how many new fruits and vegetables are you going to find?
Oh, well, just one a week. If you just did one a week, then it just inspires you to try different things. And that's also another way of getting nutrient dense food into your body, is eating different species of food. Pate is really good for you as well, because that's there's information on organ meats as well with brain nutrition. What else can I tell you? It's just make it really simple. Make it really, really simple. I love bibimbap bowls. Have you heard of them?
No.
It's like, you know, Korean barbecue, but it's basically a bowl of just shredded different groups of vegetables and maybe a cracked egg in the middle if you're eating eggs, or maybe even tofu, mushrooms. It doesn't even have to involve any meats at all. But, you know, most people are a mixed metabolic type. You know, you might be a protein dominant, you might be a carb dominant. Again, go and seek, you know, advice from a professional. And, you know, eating for your metabolic type can also be effective.
And so, so if I was going to jump onto your website, I could sign up to your newsletter, and then I would get to, you give me some ongoing tips. What would
Definitely. So I've got Ben Like Bamboo is my sports kinesiology practice, and we're in Glen Iris. But you can find all the information about me, my clinic, how to book me as a speaker, some books, and an online course that are coming out. So Amanda Campbell, pbell.com.au, and on there you can find my private practice and get more information about our monthly workshops that we're doing in Glen Iris now. We've got one coming up on the 14th of October. And every month we're going to be talking about different topics, conscious conversations, we call them. And I think, yeah, October is movement month. So, yeah, I'd love for everybody sign up to our newsletter and you'll get a monthly information about what we're up to.
Yeah, fantastic. And look, I think for people in business today, you know, being able to be, you know, if you're going to be good at it, you actually have to really look after your health, because you're not going to have a business unless you're up and at them and energetic, and people don't want to do business with people that are listless and pathetic. So, you know, this is so important, just as important as being successful, you know, in negotiating or finance or whatever. So,
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. And then that's the thing, we've sort of touched on setbacks and illness, but when you're thriving and you're on your game and you're moving and business is good, that's another time where you have to address your mental health, your state of mind, and also your nutrition even more so, because it's so important for you to be on your game, making very quick decisions. And as we all know, when you're busy and you're running maybe even a few businesses, you need to do that even more for yourself and really take that time to nourish yourself. Sit down and eat lunch. Don't eat lunch on the fly. Your digestive system will feel like you're in fight or flight mode if you're doing these ones and it's not good for you. And just mindfully, just sit down and eat and have a warm glass of water afterwards, and maybe just go for a little bit of a walk so your digestive system can, you know, get into action. And I think you'll find that it'll be a little bit of a game changer.
Okay, and for all those people that are overcoming and throwing off the colds of the moment, what suggestions do you have for them of what they should be eating right now?
Just exactly as we've discussed, really nutrient-dense food. Make sure you start the day with a warm glass of water, maybe with lemon or apple cider vinegar to get the digestive system happening. When I feel under the weather, I boil a cinnamon stick with some ginger. Yep. And I always have a saucepan on the stovetop and have that in the morning.
Yep.
And that's really nice. Yeah, that's really, what else? Just make sure the majority of your plate is plant-based foods. And, you know, if you eat that way most of the time, then you can go and enjoy your nachos or your whatever. But you can actually eat nachos in a very healthy way. Just really, you know, think outside of the box and enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Food is beautiful. Food is a way to enjoy and nourish and get together with your family and, you know, your friends, and, you know, make it open your heart rather than it being a chore.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. I love that. So I've got a new purpose for my coffee date, is to enjoy and get to,
You know, another piece of advice is, and I learnt this when I was studying, if you really want to understand how important hydration is for you, for tomorrow morning, don't drink any water at all until about 10 a.m., right? And do whatever you're going to do. Have your breakfast, have even coffee if you want, whatever you usually do. And then just notice how you feel and maybe do a cognitive test on the internet or something.
Right.
And then the day after, have a couple of glasses of warm lemon water in the morning from the moment you wake up. Skip your coffee, or at least have a couple of glasses before, and stay really well hydrated. And notice how how differently you feel physically and mentally, but the cognitive changes, and do a little test on the internet. And that blew my mind when I did that. And I've never, ever not allowed myself to have the right amount of water in the morning, because I can actually feel it now. I can actually feel wrong when I don't have water. But so much of my life previously, I just didn't even notice whether I was hydrated or not. You know, your muscles are made up of mainly water, and that's what gets you moving every day. So how could you not feed yourself with water in your brain and your tissues and everything?
Yeah, okay. All right. There you go. I will make it. So tomorrow morning, I'll start the day after my coffee, but with my water.
Yes, have a glass of water first, and then have your coffee.
All right. Okay. Deal.
Beautiful.
So folks, if you want to learn a little bit more or check out Amanda's site, the link is on the video here. And I'm sure, you know, if you want to have a look at her resources, they sound like they're amazing. So look out for more and interesting information from Amanda, because she's one of our ambassadors, and you know, we love having conversations like this and learning new and exciting things. So thank you so much for sharing some tips with us. Really.
My pleasure. I hope it helps, and you know, thank you for having me tonight, Lisa.
That's all right. And I think for anyone for Business and Heels, there's a discount on consultation with you too, isn't there? So
yes, anyone out there, you get 20% off your first session. So you can jump on our Bend Like Bamboo website, which is just bendlikebamboo.com, or Facebook Bend Like Bamboo, and just inquire, and we'll honour that for you. Just mention that, you know, you're a Business and Heels member.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Amanda. So, and watch out, stay tuned.